This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
You're going to give me that little rations you brought me. Get it here and have a seat. Phoebe laughed at her friend's rough joke. You're just as crazy as you ever was. Hand me that wash rag, honey. Let me scrub my feet. Laughter came to her from the big road. Well, mouth almighty, still sitting in the same place, and I reckon they got me up in their mouth now. I hear what they say, 'cause they just will collect round my porch. My husband gets so sick of them sometime. Sam is right, too. They just wearing out your sitting chairs. Yeah, Sam say most of them goes to church so they'll be sure to rise in judgment. That Sam of yourn just won't quit, crazy thing. Well, you better make haste and tell him about you and Tea-Cake, and where he is now, and where at is all your clothes that you got to come back here in overalls. Phoebe, you can tell him what I say if you want to. To start off with, people like them waste up too much time, put their mouth on things they don't know nothing about. Now they got to look into me loving Tea-Cake and see whether it was done right or not. They don't know if life is a mess of dumplings or if love is a bed quilt. So long as they get a name to know, they don't care whose it is and what about, especially if they can make it sound like evil. They don't need to worry about me and my overalls, as long as I still got $900 in the bank. Tea-Cake ain't wasted up no money, and he ain't left me for no young gal either. He give me every consolation in the world. He'd tell him so, too, if he was here, if he wasn't gone. Phoebe dilated all over. Tea-Cake gone? Yeah, Phoebe, Tea-Cake is gone. And that's the only reason you see me back here, 'cause I ain't got nothing to make me happy no more where I was at. It's hard for me to understand what you mean, the way you tell it. T'ain't no use in me telling you something unless I give you the understanding to go along with it. Phoebe, we've been kissing friends for 20 years, so I depend on you for good thought, and I'm talking to you from that standpoint. Janie saw her life like a great tree in leaf, with the things suffered, things enjoyed, things done and undone. I know exactly what I got to tell you, but it's hard to know where to start at. I ain't never seen my papa, my mama neither. My grandma raised me. My grandma and the white folks she worked with, they was quality white folks up there in West Florida, named Washburn. She had 4 grandchildren on the place, and all of us played together. And I was with them white children so much, I didn't know I wasn't white until I was 6 years old. Wouldn't have found it out then, but a man came along taking pictures. When we looked at the picture, and everybody got pointed out, there was nobody left except a dark little girl. So I asked, "Where is me? I don't see me." Everybody laughed, even Mr. Washburn. And I looked at the picture a long time and seen it was my dress and my hair. So I said, "Oh, I'm colored." Then they all laughed real hard. Us lived there having fun till the children at school got to teasing me about living in the white folks' backyard. And they'd push me away from the ring plays and make out they couldn't play with nobody that lived on premises. Nanny didn't love to see me with my head hung down, so she figured it would be more better for me if us had a house. She got the land and everything. And then Miss Washburn helped out a whole heap with things. Janie went on thinking back to her young years and explaining them to her friend. She decided that her conscious life had commenced at Nanny's gate on a spring afternoon in West Florida. Janie had spent most of the day under a pear tree in the yard. She had been spending every minute she could steal under that tree for 3 days, ever since the first tiny bloom had opened. From barren brown stems to leaf buds, from the leaf buds to snowy virginity in bloom. How? Why? It followed her through all her waking moments and caressed her in her sleep. She stretched on her back beneath the tree, soaking in the chant of the bees. When the voice of it all came to her, she saw a dust-bearing bee sink into a bloom. The 1,000 sister calyxes arched to meet the love embrace and the shiver of the tree. So this was marriage. She had been summoned to behold a revelation. After a while she got up and went over the field entire. Oh, to be a pear tree, any tree in bloom. She was 16. She wanted to struggle with life, but it seemed to elude her. Nothing on the place answered her. She searched as much of the world as she could, looking, waiting for the world to be made. Through pollinated air, she saw a glorious being coming up the road. In her former blindness, she had known him as shiftless Johnny Taylor, before the golden pollen had beglamoured his rags and her eyes. In the last stages of Nanny's sleep, she dreamed of voices. Janie's voice, talking in snatches with a male voice she couldn't quite place. She bolted upright and peered out the window and saw Johnny Taylor lacerating her Janie with a kiss. "Janie!" So Janie extended herself outside of her dream and went inside of the house. That was the end of her childhood. Nanny's face looked like the roots of some old tree that had been torn away by storm. "Janie, you's a woman now, so—" "No, Nanny, no." "Yeah, Janie, so I might as well tell you what I've been saving up a spell. I wants to see you married right away." "Me? No, Nanny, no, ma'am. What I know about a husband?" "What I seen just now is plenty for me. I don't want no trashy nigger like Johnny Taylor using you to wipe his foots on." Nanny's words made Janie's kiss seem like a manure pile after a rain. "Nanny, I didn't mean nothing bad." "That's what makes me scared. You don't mean no harm. You don't even know where harm is at. Now, I'm old. I can't be always guiding your feet from harm and danger. I want to see you married right away." "Who I'm going to marry? I don't know nobody." "Somebody done spoke to me about you. I wanted you to school out and pick from a high bush, but that ain't your idea, I see. Brother Logan Killicks, he's a good man, too." "No, Nanny, no, ma'am. He looked like some old skullhead." "So you don't want to marry off decent like. Wants to suck the same sorrow your mama did, eh? Janie?" "Yes, ma'am." "You answer me when I speak, after all I've done went through for you." She slapped the girl's face violently. With her hand uplifted for the second blow, she saw the tear that welled up from Janie's heart and stood in each eye. Instead, she stood there, suffering for both of them. "Come to your grandma, honey. Your Nanny wouldn't harm a hair on your head. She don't want nobody else to do it neither if she can help it. Honey, the white man throw down the load and tell the nigger man pick it up. He pick it up, but he don't tote it. He hand it to his women folks. The nigger woman is the mule of the world so far as I can see. I've been praying for it to be different with you. Lord, Lord." Nanny half-sung, half-sobbed a chanting prayer over the head of the weeping girl. Finally, they both grew calm. "Nanny, please don't make me marry Mr. Killicks." "It ain't Logan Killicks I want you to have, baby. It's protection. I asked the Lord when you was an infant to let me stay here till you got grown. My daily prayer now is to let these golden moments roll on a few days longer till I see you safe in life. You ain't got nobody but me, and my head is old and tilted towards the grave. The thought of you being kicked from pillar to post is a hurting thing. I got to try and do for you before my head is cold." A sobbing sigh burst out of Janie. The old woman answered with soothing pats of the hand. "You know, honey, I was born back during slavery, so it wasn't for me to fulfill my dreams of what a woman ought to be. But nothing can stop you from wishing." I wanted to preach a great sermon about colored women sitting on high. But Freedom found me with a baby daughter in my arms, so I said...